Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Revenge Garden. I am Carmen Cook. The weather's been so great all week long, and then today it took a little bit of a turn. We had some sideways rain earlier, so we're going to try to get these readings done before that comes back and starts pelting us here in the garden. But let's get started with K.A. Gandy's Marked. It's a little different on our end, since all the men are in competition for the same woman. Well, not all of us. He sounds tense, but we come around the hedge just at that moment to see the indoor archery range up ahead. The walls are floor-to-ceiling glass, much like the gym, and I can see both guys inside, along with the instructor choosing their bows from the wall. In my excitement, I decide not to worry about Beckett and whatever jealousy it seems that he's dealing with. I can't change that for him, so hopefully he and the guys will work it out amongst themselves. Come on, Beckett, let's get in there before they grab all the good bows. I grab his arm, giving his bicep a little squeeze before jogging up the steps and up to the huge double doors. They're painted black, a surprising deviation from the grandiose and classic styles of everything else here, and it feels modern, mysterious. Basically, I love everything about it, and I haven't stepped foot inside yet. Beckett catches up to me and pulls open the door, waving my hand away from the oversized handle. Demi, please, let me take care of you. There's a gentle chastisement in his tone, but something else too. You're a lady, and when you're on my arm, you will be treated like one at all times. Thank you, I say, but my emotions are warring inside. I'm not some fancy lady, I'm just me. But does that mean I shouldn't accept his kindness? Should I argue that I'm not worth it? I shove it all down and walk past him into the range. It's everything I imagined and more. The near wall is basically one big weapons rack with bows of every shape, size, color, and type arranged at eye level. Underneath are storage tubes bristling with hundreds of multicolored arrows, and then racks of safety gear such as wrist and forearm protectors, gloves, and even a selection of quivers. I'm wide-eyed, staring longingly at all the impressive weaponry when the other two guys approach. Hey, beautiful. Jack steps forward first, wrapping me in a hug. It takes me by surprise and I stiffen, but I manage to pat him on the shoulder like a normal human instead of an unsocialized robot. He pulls back when Fletcher clears his throat, but shoots him in a sideways glance. Jax's hands linger on my shoulders a moment too long before he releases me, and I can greet Fletcher. Good morning, Demi. You look wonderful today. Are you enjoying the selection of fancy workout duds as much as I am? Fletcher gives me a lazy grin, but doesn't encroach in my personal space. His long, curling hair is pulled back into a bun today, and it gives him a totally different look, which I dig. Yeah, the fancy gowns I could take or leave, but these workout pants feel like they're made of air. Or butter. I don't know. It sounds weird, but they are the best thing I've ever worn. I might get married in them. He throws his head back and laughs. Well, now I've got to feel them, can't I? His eyes are twinkling, and I feel myself nod, even though my brain is short-circuited at the warmth of his laugh. I pop my left leg up a little and watch mesmerized as he reaches over and trails his fingertips over the pants right above my knee. His touch is electric, and for a moment, I forget we're in a gym with 3 other men. I forget everything except his gentle, hypnotic touch. When he pulls his hand back a moment later, my eyes snap back up to his, the spell broken. You're right, those are amazing. If I were you, I'd never take them off either, but he pauses and leans close to whisper in my ear. They don't make them in men's, so I guess I'll just have to snuggle up to you to get my fix. My heart leaps into my throat at his simple, tantalizing words, and I find myself swallowing hard. My brain has gone to the fritz, and all I can process is the delicious heat of him so close to my ear and the intoxicating smell of his shampoo. It's cedar and pine. And underneath is a masculine scent of him. I am in so much trouble. That is K.A. Gandy's Marked. Next, we are heading over to Truck Me by Aria Bliss. Just as I get comfortable and settled in for the rest of the drive home, flashing hazard lights come into view up ahead. I only see one car, so I decide to pull over to see if they need help. It's late enough that most people wouldn't bother to stop, but I can't do that. I always imagine it's Graham's. I'd hate for her to get stuck out here in the dark like this. I toss my truck into park and flip off the radio before I lean in closer to the window to get a look at the car. It's an older Volvo wagon with a dark blue and an out-of-state tag. You coming, Bullet? I ask as I open the glove box to get my flashlight. She gives me a low ruff and stands up on the seat. Bullet's a good dog, and I don't have to worry about her running away or straying from my side. She hops out with me and I shut the door, keeping it running so it doesn't get cold, and then I make my way to the front of the Volvo where the hood is up. Before I reach the front, a woman steps out from the front and stares at me. She immediately relaxes when her eyes connect with mine. Thank God it's you. Charlotte presses her hand to her chest. I had no idea what to expect from someone stopping. I look her up and down and can't stop the low growl that escapes me. She is not dressed appropriately for country living. She's wearing a coat that looks like it's more for show than warmth. It's short and light pink. I think it might be leather. There's a scarf around her neck, but it's thin and see-through. There is no way that's providing her any warmth. Her dark skirt is loose-fitting and looks like it barely covers her ass. Her legs are bare and she's wearing another pair of those damn sexy heels that I'd love to see on her while she's in my bed with nothing else on. My dick thickens at the image and I shake my head and bite back my attraction. Dressed like a princess when she should be thinking about comfort and practicality. I'm about to get on to her for being out here this late, dressed like this, when my eyes land on her hand at her side. If I'm not mistaken, she's gripping a can of pepper spray. Maybe she's smarter than I thought. Bullet runs past me and stops at Charlotte's feet. She circles her, stiffing her feet and then her ass. When Bullet's nose nudges her, she yelps and hops forward, stumbling right into my arms. I grab hold of her and keep her from falling to the ground. She looks up at me, but it's too dark to read her expression. Hopefully that means she can't read mine, because having her this close to me is doing crazy things to my body. She rights herself and steps back. Sorry about that. I wasn't prepared for your dog to poke me in the ass. She lets out a soft chuckle while I growl. Don't worry about it. Bullet steps around her and rubs her nose on Charlotte's hand. Charlotte's smile grows and she coos and pets my dog. Bullet eats it up. Traitor, I mumble. What was that? Charlotte turns her smile to me and my chest constricts. She's a beautiful woman, but when she smiles, her entire face lights up. Nothing. I point to the front of her car. What seems to be wrong? I don't know. I heard a grinding noise and then my car jerked and came to a stop. I don't know why I popped the hood. I don't know anything about cars. I shine my flashlight under the hood, but it's too dark to really see anything. Besides, what she described does not sound good. Well, can't say for sure, but until I get it to the garage. But it sounds like the transmission. Common problem in older Volvos. Great. Just what I need. She sighs and opens the driver's side door. A few seconds later, she stands with her phone in her hand. What are you doing? Calling Mom to come get me, and then a tow truck? I growl and narrow my gaze. Why would you do that? She looks up at me with raised brows. Because my car broke down? I can take you home. You live right next door to me. She stares at me like she doesn't understand what I said. Okay. She drags out the word. But what about my car? I can't leave it here. I shake my head and a low rumble vibrates in my chest. You do know my family owns a garage, right? Yeah. We have a tow truck. I'll come back for it. She looks genuinely confused. Why would you do that? Why do you think, Princess? Her eyes narrow into thin slits. Do not call me that. Why not? I grumble. You earned it. Get whatever you need and come on. I shut the hood of her car and pass her towards my truck, doing my best to avoid looking at her long, sexy legs. Do you have to be so grumpy all the time? Yes, I grumble and keep walking. When I reach the passenger side, I open the door and then stare at her over the top. She stares at me but doesn't make a move. If I could see her expression, I'd bet all the cash in my wallet that she looks angry. Good. She's being ridiculous right now, and if she thinks for 1 second that I'd leave her alone on the side of the road all night at night, we may not be on the same level of crime that she's used to in living in Chicago, but bad things still happen out here. Then she huffs and reaches into her car. I hope to get her purse and keys. I whistle for Bullet to come over before I move her blanket over to the center seat. Bullet doesn't move until Charlotte has locked up her car and is heading towards me. Yeah, my dog is definitely a traitor. That is Truck Me by Aria Bliss. Thank you so much for joining me once again this week. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.